All right, guys, welcome back to probably part 3 of this 2009 Polaris Sportsman 650 XP EPS or something like that. Anyways, you guys seen the first 2 episodes of getting the transmission out, taking it apart. We got parts in today. We're probably about 3 or 4 days later. Went through Partzilla's where I got them from. They usually have pretty good shipping with things that are in stock. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just do a time lapse of me putting this back together. You guys saw how it comes apart. And if you have questions about it, just drop a comment and then I'll try to answer you back as soon as possible. I think just doing a time lapse is going to kind of really speed things up. That way we can put it back in the quad and you guys don't have to be bored out of your mind watching me put this transmission back together and then trying to get it back in the quad, get this lined up, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to time lapse this, guys. Let me know what you think. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do. I appreciate it. Thumbs up or thumbs down for the video. Let's jump into this transmission.
Heading up to the code 3 chase. Suspect was last reported southbound on Highway 99.
016, 1043 with the pursuit.
All right, guys, that's the time lapse of the transmission. You guys see me struggle with a few things as far as like getting the bearings of the seat back in the bottom. I had to heat some of it up, and I had to hit one with a hammer a little bit to kind of get it to finally seat the rest of the way. What I'm struggling with right now is actually the shift drum detent. I'm not sure if I put that in, it gets really tough to shift. It shifts no problem right now, but when I put this in, over here where it actually goes against the detent, it is really, really, really hard to get it to shift. So I'm going to look into that a little bit. All those gears are in great shape, so I got to do a little more research on this, figure out what's going on with that. But this is something we could take in and out actually while the transmission is installed in the quad. Got a brand new belt. Let's see, we got all that new stuff in there, all this new shift, all the new bell crank and all. Sorry guys, the battery went dead on that time lapse at the end here when I was explaining this. So you guys saw me struggle with a lot of things. But next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to actually install this in the quad. Like I said, everything looks good on the inside. Everything is torqued. I don't have anything to hold this clutch, the primary clutch. The primary clutch torque is, the bolts on the outside are actually 27 Newton meters. The primary clutch is drive clutch spider, retaining bolt, clutch retaining here. Let's just talk here. I'll just tell you what it is. So it's got the drive clutch retaining bolt or the drive clutch spider is 200 foot-pounds or 271 Newton meters. Drive clutch retaining bolt is 47 foot-pounds or 64 Newton meters, which is left-handed thread, which is this one right, which is the big one right here on the primary clutch. Driven clutch retaining bolt, 13 foot-pounds or 18 Newton meters. Driven clutch cover bolts, 11 Newton meters. Inner PT cover screws, the little guys in there are 6 foot-pounds, 8 Newton meters. Outer bolts are going to be 5 Newton meters, and clutch weight pins are at 15 inch-pounds or 2-3 Newton meters. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to install this in the quad. We got the new gasket for the back. Don't want to forget this. It goes on that coupler in the back. And I'm going to probably just install this off camera. You guys saw this boring time lapse, so we'll install it off camera. And then I have to service it, and then we'll fire it up and see if we take care of the shifting problem. All right, guys, so we're back on this thing. We got 3 quarts of oil in there. I forget what the transmission actually took in the back, the amount. You just fill it up till it gets to the fill point. So it's got a new battery in it. I just stuck that in there. Let's throw this back on here. I'm guessing it goes this direction. I'm not 100% positive. That was off when I got it. So everything is back together. We do have a new battery in it. The shift detent is the only thing I have to still address. But let's see if we got power at least. So we have power, and that would be park, reverse, neutral, low, and high. And power steering works. It's kind of... It doesn't sound good, holy crap. Let me get this thing in neutral. How about I turn that off for a second? Key back on. That would be neutral. Well, apparently, I know he had rolled this over. That is definitely not a good sound. So we'll have to address that later. Holy crap. But anyway, let's at least see if this thing will fire up. So I'm going to check that out real quick to see if there's something crazy going on there. Because I've never heard one do that personally. And after that, we'll fire this thing up. All right, guys, I literally accidentally started this up. Didn't realize I wasn't recording. So let's just do it again real quick. I fired it up for like 3 seconds, and I looked back and realized the camera wasn't going. So you see a little bit of smoke coming off here. Everything is completely oily. I still have to take it down and pressure wash it. But again, you hear the front of this thing getting crazy. So we're just going to go ahead and fire it up. It's in park. Looks like it does have a check engine light on it. Water, neutral, 2-wheel drive, headlights work. So let's see. I can't figure out what that code is real quick. All right, guys, I just got back from a test ride after I pressure washed everything off here. It's still really hard to shift when you're sitting there. It's idling like almost 1700, so I think the idle's a little too high. I know there's a few things I can do to adjust that. I just got to double check on this model. I know the IAC motor controls a lot of that, but there also is an idle adjustment underneath the side cover over here. We might be able to address this guy. We'll take a look and see what's going on there. This thing has been used and abused, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look in there. I know the map sensor is not exactly kosher, but I'm not the one who put that on there. I'm not going to mess with that. And so, I mean, that could affect our idle for sure. But I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and check that and see if I can figure out what's going on with this idle and why it's still hard to shift. All right, guys, so I'll take it for a test ride on this. I'll show you what it's doing. We do have an EPS problem. It's got a code that pops up, but it's still really hard to shift. And we're gonna chalk that. That's gonna be chalked up to most likely a primary clutch or a secondary clutch. It has a brand new belt. So I'm gonna save that for another video, but I'm gonna show you the symptoms of what I have going on here. I have checked the idle, the IAC motor, throttle position. I tested all that stuff. All that stuff checks out good with all the ohms and stuff like that. So let's start this thing up. We'll take it for a little ride down through the yard and back. But I know some of these models you have to step on the pedal to get to go into high, but this one here, you don't have to. But see, you can see, gotta yank it. Now if I shut it off, now it's smooth. High, that's low, so we'll turn it back on. We have to grab the handle or the front brake lever or front/rear brake lever. But you see how it surged like that and I turned it on? I don't know if you noticed that when I gave it, when I turned the key in gear, it surged a little bit. So anyway, it rides good. It does everything it's supposed to. Brakes work and stuff like that, but when we come to a stop, see that? Not until you shut it all the way down, and then now you can put it in park, reverse, wherever you want to. So that's an indication of a clutch problem. So let's head back up to the shop here. Shut it off again, back into reverse. Now I'll put it where it belongs and shut it back off again, put it there. So I'm gonna save the primary, the clutch and all that stuff for another video. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I know I did a time lapse of putting it back together. I didn't think you want to see me put it back together, but you can see the symptoms I'm still running into. This was an initial symptom that they were having beforehand, and basically what they would do, they yank on that lever really, really hard, and it stripped out that what they call the bell crank on there. So, and no matter what, to do the transmission or to put the bell crank in there, you have to take apart the whole entire transmission. So we did that, fixed all those parts. We're still having an issue. So again, that's going to be a problem with the primary or secondary. So I'll have to dig into that. Again, I'll save that for another video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If not, give it a thumbs down. Again, if you need to get a hold of me, you can email me at limitlesspowersports78@gmail.com. I'm out of breath because I'm talking too much. Limitlesspowersports78@gmail.com. Find me on Facebook at Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair, and TikTok at Limitless Power Sports Sir and Rep. Again, guys, I appreciate you tuning in and subbing, and we'll catch you on the next upload.